The best time to buy a house is now. And people always ask, well, when is now? Like now being today, now being, now 6 months from now, when is now? And the answer is now. So I've heard this quote, and I think it's a really good quote, and it says, marry your home, but date your rate. That really resonates with me, and here's why. You fall in love with your home, that's what you marry. Date your rate, because you can always refinance. If the rates come down, you can always refinance. A seller's market versus a buyer's market. So a seller's market is really where the seller has power. So in the sense of power, they have a lot of buyers bidding for that home. They have, the inventory is relatively low. They've got a lot of people wanting to buy and get in as quickly as possible, which was the market really that we had last year. Meanwhile, a buyer's market is where there's a lot of inventory and buyers can actually be really picky. They can take their time. They can really go after what they're looking for and what they want. Right now, I would say we're still a little bit more in a seller's market, although values have started coming back down, and that's not a bad thing. They're coming back down to what's more considered a reasonable level than what before was a little bit inflated. So again, right now I think it's slowly switching, but we're still, at the end of the day, we're still in a seller's market. The best way to start a process when you're buying a home is to contact us. Now, if it's your first time buying a home, I would say give us a call, set up an appointment, and talk to one of our mortgage loan officers. If you've been through this a couple times and you're comfortable with it, I would say, you can go ahead and go online and apply that way. The reason I say to talk to a mortgage loan officer if you're buying for the first time is you're gonna have so many questions. You're gonna have questions that you haven't thought about yet. And different things they may hit on that you may say, oh wow, that's a great thing. So I would really recommend contact us, come in, talk to somebody. Even if it's not Dort, talk to somebody because it's gonna make sense as you start going through the process. If you're a first-time home buyer, it can feel so overwhelming and you don't know what to do. And usually do you get your financing first? Do you go out there and look for a home first? What is it? And I wanna say, most home buyers feel like, let me go out there, let me kind of kick some tires, let's see what's out there. And so that's what they do. And then they end up falling in love with a home. And now they wanna make an offer. And by the time they're going to make this offer, it takes a little bit of time to get your pre-approval together because you've got to provide all your financial documents, you've got to input an application, you've got to have your credit pulled, it's got to be looked at and reviewed. And by that point, you may lose out on that home that you've fallen in love with. And buying a home is a very, very emotional journey. So although, I do always say, go ahead and get your pre-approval. I know it's not always feasible. But at the end of the day, you don't want to fall in love with a home and then lose it. So again, my advice is to go ahead and get that pre-approval. Know what you can afford, know how much you're really looking at, how much do you have saved. There's so many different programs out there that see what makes sense for you. And that way, when you fall in love with something, you don't have payment shock, you're not worried about it, and you can truly afford it. You can absolutely do this entire process with Dort Financial Credit Union. We are here to help you. We're here to walk you through. Most people don't buy homes every day. It is a lot and can feel very, very overwhelming. So we are here to partner with you. We're trying to make things as easy for you as possible. We will take care of ordering the appraisal. Biggest thing you have to worry about is to make sure that when we need documents, you get them to us. And the quicker you get them to us and as completely as possible, it makes everything a little bit smoother. And then of course, shopping for that homeowner's insurance. Okay, so you are pre-approved. And now this is the fun part, right? You have to decide what you want. What kind of siding do you want? How many bedrooms do you need? How many bathrooms do you need? How much, you already have your approval amount as to what you can afford and you're comfortable with it. So you go ahead, you work with somebody, you make an offer on your home, and it is accepted. Exciting and scary. So once it's accepted, what you're gonna do is you're gonna touch base with your loan officer, and at that point, you're gonna go ahead and get them a copy of the contract. Once they have the contract, they're gonna go through your file and they're gonna look and see, what has changed since pre-approval. They may need some updated information, maybe a bank statement, maybe a couple pay stubs. It just depends on what else they may need at this point. At that time, they'll go ahead and send the file into underwriting. Underwriting will take a couple days, typically, and at which point your loan officer or somebody from the company will give you a call back and say, okay, here may be some additional questions we have or some additional information. At that point, usually your appraisal is getting ordered as well too. So the appraisal now, you don't have to be there, but the appraisal will be done with the homeowner. So at that point, if you're working with a realtor, they'll contact the other agent, they'll go ahead and set that up. The appraisal's done, it comes back, it's valued, great news. And then again, the underwriter will take a look at the file, make sure they have everything. They may ask you to go ahead and start looking for homeowners insurance if you haven't already done so. And one thing to try as you're trying to expedite the process is to go ahead and start shopping for that homeowners insurance sooner than later, because it does take a few days and you want to make sure that you have enough time to have that and have that information kind of settle and dissolve through and understand it. At which point you will get what we call the clear to close, my 3 favorite words, or I guess 4 favorite words in that case. So once you have that clear to close, a closer will go ahead and give you a call and they will schedule an actual closing. Once your closing is scheduled, then you have to just come in, they'll go through final disclosures, and then you just sign everything and you have your keys. And then the hard stuff, the move.